And that's when they started hollering and screaming. What the F? What the freak is that, dude? Look at that. Look at that monster. Look at
It didn't try to come for you?
No, she just crept forward and was looking, and I'm looking at it, but I'm looking at the other hand came forward, and she brought just like the first quarter, maybe half of her body into the light. And I'm just like, I'm standing there looking, and I just peed on myself.
I would have too.
I mean, I was, it was so much bigger than me, wider. That head had to be, with the rough on the side, I'm gonna say her head had to be 20, 24 inches.
I couldn't even stand there and look at it. I probably would have seen that thing and terrified.
My brain is telling me to run, and my body is not listening. I was locked up, and I'm standing there looking at her, and she's looking at me, and then she did a sweep with her head, just a single motion, but there was a slight hiccup, like, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. And then she looked back at me. Now, Lil Bit had a fanny pack. I know because he put that on at the park when we got ready to leave. So, I'm assuming at that time it was him. I didn't find out till we got to the liquor store, but somebody said, don't shoot it. And I'm thinking, Lord, please don't shoot it, because I'm standing right here in the middle of these tracks between y'all, and I don't know what kind of marksman you are. Please don't shoot it. And when they said that, she looked past me. She didn't turn her head like that. She just cut her eyes and looked past me, and her ears laid back. And you know when a dog raised them jaws up and show his teeth without opening his mouth? That's what she did. Now, I didn't know it was a female at this time, because she's on all fours. Them teeth, them canines she had, African lion ain't got nothing on her. Not a thing. And every other tooth in her mouth that I seen was not a molar. It wasn't like dog teeth. It looked like, if you ever seen a bear trap, how they interlock like that, all of her teeth were cutting teeth, like she was meant to eat nothing but meat. And what the... Your mind can sometimes be your best friend or your worst enemy. Because my life actually flashed behind my eyes, but it was going bullet train fast, and at the same time there's a mix of, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get away? I'm getting ready to die. This thing is about to kill me and eat me. And they hollering and screaming, and she just stood there and was looking at me. But she was looking more at me than she was at them, because I looked her dead in her eyes. Now, if you own a dog, or ever owned a dog, say you go to work and you come home. You open the door, go in, your dog waiting on you. You can look at your dog and recognize that your dog knows who you are. It looks at you and it recognizes you. The look on that thing's face was that it knew me. I can't describe it any better than what I gave you about your dog recognizing, but it looked at me like it knew me. I locked eyes with it for a minute.
But how about your friend? Was he still on the ground?
Herman ain't moved. He had fallen and turned over on his back. This is the posture I'm going to describe that I seen when I got a chance to see him, because I could not see him from where she was at, but he was on his back, propped up on his knee, with his head looking up like that. and
Oh
he was
wow.
not moving. He had not got up to try to run. He was not screaming. He was not moving.
Mm.
Now, I'm not thinking about Herman at this particular time because this thing is less than 8 feet away from me. But I know
Right.
with the length of her arm, all she had to do was reach out and she would have touched me.
Wow.
Well, maybe came forward one more step, but then reached out and she would have touched me. But she's
8
looking at
feet.
me,
Wow.
yeah, 8 feet, and she had the upper part of her body was in the light, so I got a good look at her.
Wow. Her
She was jet
wingspan.
black. She was so black it looked like it eat light,
Mm.
but she had splashes of gray on her. I don't know if that was the reflection from the light hitting her coat
Mm-hmm.
or if that was, part of her color, but it was just splashes, but there was no definite pattern. Just like a splash here, a splash there, and her, she looked like she just come from the groomers. To come out of that thistle field and not have any debris on her, no leaves, no mud, nothing.
What's
That
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 picture?
that's a rougarou. That's what he described it in Louisiana. Sweet, give me,
Oh.
give me strength. Give me strength, Lord.
Oh
Give me strength.
wow.
And that's called a
But
rougarou?
it's called a rougarou in
Rougarou?
Louisiana. Yeah,
So it's a rougarou. A werewolf? What is a rougarou?
look it up. It look that's what he saw.
You saw a rougarou. A rougarou.
But a whole lot bigger than that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's what.
I have to
Oh,
look up Rougarou because I want to know too
I
because
never heard
we're
of it.
not from there.
Yeah, that's something. That's a Louisiana rougarou.
um. So yep, I look it up. I'm just looking at her coat.
Look it up.
I didn't see under different circumstances.
Okay.
I honestly say she would have been a beautiful specimen under different circumstances.
But how did you know it was her? That
It's the girl. The girl's a werewolf.
Give me a few ticks and I'm gonna answer that as I go on. So
okay.
I'm gonna show this rougarou thing. I found. See, there's a few pictures of what a rougarou looks like.
Hey, get out of here! I'm
Okay.
dirt
When-
You
biking.
have these things like this. But they are found in Louisiana. There's a
All right, here we go.
Louisiana thing.
Going down the mountain.
So Sugar said, "Yep, that's it." She
You
said
ready,
it's a rougarou.
Franklin?
That so apparently this is a well-known thing in Louisiana. These rougarou things.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Some people call them loop gurus.
Demons? They look like a demon.
They look like werewolves.
Well, what pact do you make with the
They say
devil
it's
in
like
order so you can shapeshift?
Yeah, like a shape.
I was going to go there because you got shapeshifters, and that's what this thing. This might be a standard size or larger. They come in all sizes, but they're called rougarou. I talked to a friend of mine. I'm sorry, but in
Oh no, you fine.
he said they were known around that area. It goes back to prior to French, before they came into this area. A lot of things took place down in southern part of Louisiana, and this is what it was taken about. It was some call it rougarou, and there was one called sidewalker or something like that.
Skinwalker.
Huh?
Is it the same thing as a skinwalker?
Skinwalker, yeah. So it depends what group you're dealing with. So that's what he encountered. If they remind you of one, because that's what would come to mind, but this is what they were better known for and known as.
And you said it depends on what group you deal with. What that mean?
Because in Louisiana you got a mix of Cajuns and French and all this and all this, so you don't know what comes across or been mixed, right? And you got many stories and folklore and things that comes out of this area. It's known for mystical, I don't want to say black magic, but it's known as a mystical area that happens in Louisiana, especially because of the Haitian influence that came in through the out of Haiti. There's a lady by the name of Marie DeVoe. When she came,
I
when she
heard
was
of
there,
her.
okay, she was there with what's his name when they had fought the Haitian Revolution. She was there with them when that went down, and then she came to New Orleans, and she became recognized as one of the great top uh, priestess of Doom. Yeah, and matter of fact, they worship her to this day in downtown New Orleans. She got a pink sepulcher that they go and pray to and talk to her, and she got stores, botanicals there in down there. So not only that, but it's known where I am too because we had a lady up there named was Mama Chain. She was known as riding a white horse and roaming the railroad tracks and things like that. But I'm looking to let Roy get back. I know that's all that he saw, and he said he started going through some emotional change. But I guess he saw something. But yeah, Roy, it's back in your hands, man. I don't want to take it over, but I know I talked to some friends of mine, and they one that brought me up about this particular animal, this thing here, and that they've encountered it down in around Metairie in that area. There's a place called.
So they say that Rougarou also is a curse. This is a cursed transformation. Some legends say that the Rougarou is a person cursed to
Well,
transform into the
you have
beast.
all kind of anecdotes and things why, but nobody really understands what. So we put our own spin on it. But I do know if you go down a place called what is it? Um, it's a place where they live. What was it? Where they grow sugar cane um, down deep south Louisiana, and they've been found down there. What's that sugar company? It's not Domino. What's the other big sugar company down there? No, it's another one.
CNH.
No, it's another one. It's older. That's down south. And they still live on plantations even to this day. They're down there. It's deep south. You go after leaving out of New Orleans, you hit that little strip and it goes way down to the bottom of the boot. Premier, Louisiana.
Okay.
Way down the boot, way down the bottom of the boot. See, a lot of folks don't know this thing is deeper than people think. And yeah, I talked to some friends, and being a truck driver, I had to go down there one time. And I'm gonna tell you, it ain't no joke when it get dark, bro. You want to get out down there. You want to get out down there quick, fast, and hurry. Yeah, it's called Premier, Louisiana. It ain't even on no map.
Oh,
So
man.
what is that,
That
like
is-
by New Orleans, or like it's like by the bayou, or?
It is south of New Orleans, about 100 miles further down beyond New Orleans, and it's down deep down in there. And
on the bottom of the boot.
yeah, down to bottom.
Like where the swamps and all that is, like.
They don't use money down. They use script. A lot of the folks stays on the plantation, and they get everything from the general store. If whatever you want, you get script, and you go to the general store. You come back your car, your clothes. You go to this store, and you get everything through this store, and it's owned by Premier Sugar Company.
And that's as of today. They use script.
As of today.
They don't use regular money. They use a different type of money. Wow. You would never think in these days and times that would be changed.
No, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah. This is script. And
yeah, still to this day. And here's the thing, is that
thank you for that information, sir. Thank you for that. I like learning one new thing every day. Thank you for that information.
That Rougarou is a swamp creature, isn't it?
Right.
Is it? Yeah, it's like some like kind of curse or something. And Baba was talking about how it likes to scare things and stuff like that. It's like meant to place fear, right? Because didn't your friend
or
what happened to your friend? There's something happened to your friend after that whole incident happened, right?
Yeah, but I let me finish first. I'll answer all the questions y'all asking as I recount. I'm not. I just don't want to jump around.
Okay.
But and of course I'll answer any questions that you have after I finish telling you this. But she looked like she just came from a salon and had been groomed, everything. Again, under different circumstances, I would say she was beautiful. But because of her demeanor and her size, that's what just got me the most, her size and the muscles. I just knew I'm 110% sure I was going to die. Now, whether the rest of them joined me, I had no idea, but that's what I mean, you could see the street that we walked down, and it was houses. With all of that yelling and screaming them dudes was doing, seemed like somebody would looked out the back door. It just seemed like somebody would have, but that didn't happen. So she stood there looking, and after dude pointed that gun at her, she focused on him a short bit, and while that was going on, fence, because there's a fence that runs behind them buildings. That tall fence with the 3 strands of bob. That fence and get to the back of that
How am I still alive?
Store, and I just run across top and drop down right there, be on Airline Highway. Maybe I flag somebody down, or maybe I just run my butt back up the street to my car. And I was shifting my feet. So I'm thinking as much motion as I can get done to get pointed in that direction, because when I got to go lickety split. Mm-hmm. She turned her head and looked right at me, dead in my eyes, and I did not hear a voice in my head that I can recall. But the look on her face conveyed to me, go ahead and run. Try it. Run. See how far you get. I stood there and peed on myself again. And my heart started pounding so hard that for a few seconds, I couldn't even hear them dudes yelling anymore. I couldn't hear nothing. Now, she growled, but it wasn't real loud. It was low. I don't know if it hit me in my head and went down to my feet, or hit me in my feet and went up to my head. But I felt it in my body. And I'm like, again, back to square one, you dead. Now, this wasn't a few seconds encounter. This took some minutes.
Wow.
Because when she was looking at me, she stopped folks. I mean, she would glance over at the dudes, but mainly she was looking at me. And I still looking at her in her eyes, and I got this feeling, I know, she know, this thing know me. That I don't know why that is, but this thing know me. And I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. But for some reason, if you had a dog and they got fleas, and they might be sitting up next to you or just sitting up somewhere and you watching them, or they might be laying down and they make that real quick jerk and start biting at the base of their tail or on their haunches because they got fleas. She flinched like that, but she didn't start chewing on her leg or by her. I don't know if she had a tail or not. I never seen one. But just the flinch that she did, and she looked over in them thistles and she stood up. I didn't hear no snapping and popping like some people say dog men do. I didn't hear no hip displacement, none of that. It was just a smooth whoop, and I'm looking at her go up, up, and up. and she turned her head and looked over in them thistles. And I turned my head and looked. I just took a quick glance. And it was 6 red lights over there in them thistles about 60 feet back. But they was bright, because it's black over there. They was bright. And I turned and looked back at her, and that's when I started looking at her body, and she had 4 breasts. She had a 6-pack, shoulders approximately 48 to 50 inches wide. She probably was pushing the scale with her mass at right around the 500-pound mark. Now, the reason I say that is I started playing football in the 7th grade, on up through junior high, high school, and college. I done been in the locker room with some freaks of humanity. Dude 6'8", 6'9", might be weighing 340 pounds, and she made them look small. But she was cut. Now, her breasts, because I have shared this before, a lot of people seem to think that them was her pups. I've had dogs off and on in my life, and some females that have had puppies. I know what happens, even with a human female. I know what happens when you have kids. You do not, your breasts take on a different shape. They hang, especially if you breastfeed. She didn't have any of that. Her breasts looked like on a young human being, but they were, when she stood up, there wasn't no whole bunch of jiggling and stuff like that, because for her size, I'm gonna say they was size appropriate. But it wasn't no whole bunch of bouncing. It was just a slight little bloop bloop, and then that was it. So I didn't really look down below her knees, because I honestly didn't want to take my eyes off of that working part, them jaws. But she was approximately 9 to 9.5 feet tall.
Dang.
She could have dunked a basketball standing flat foot and still would have had some room to spare in her arms. Her arms had to be about 5 feet long. But they were longer from the elbow to the wrist than they were from the elbow to the shoulder. But her forearm was about that big. Just her forearm. And I got a good look at her. She's right there in front of me. And she brought more of herself into light when she stood up. And then she slightly flexed her legs and jumped about 18 to 20 feet and landed back in the thistles and took off running toward them red lights. And you could see her path, because she was going over them thistles so fast they would just lay down and pop back up. And when I looked again, the red lights was gone, but they were standing in a triangle formation, 2 on the front and 2 to the left and 2 to the right. But the way the shape is if you took a rear reflector off a bicycle and got a black magic marker and started in the center, coloring it in until you got about that much from the edge. That's what I seen. So if they can dilate their pupils that freaking big, I don't know, but I'm gonna say that the height for them was between 5'9" and 6 foot, because they were on different levels. But if that had been a human being, them needles on them thistles would have been real freaking uncomfortable. Now, I don't know if there was other ones of them, because her eyes were not red. They were actually, if you take a yellow full moon and a white full moon and you blend them, that was the color of her eyes, with that black pupil in there. And when she took off, I snapped out of my trance and I ran and grabbed Herman. Dude, come on, get up, let's go. What are you doing, dude? Herman had checked out. His face was blank, his eyes was glazed over, he had a little bit of drool running out of his mouth, and I'm trying to pull him up, and so Shorty Mac came up and got on the other side, and we pulled him up, and I'm pulling him. What?
It froze.
Man, it ain't that far down. It ain't that far down.
Hold on. You froze. You froze like so. We heard when you guys are pulling the Herman up, and it froze after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we got him on his feet, and he's still not standing up on by his own power. I got one arm around me, and Shorty Mac got his other arm around him, and I'm turning to go back toward the street, and they talking about, oh, no, man, come on, we got to go down here to the liquor store so we can use the phone to call the police. I'm like, but wouldn't it be faster to go back this way? And they like, no, just come on, man, come on. So they started going that way, and at this time, my herd mentality kicked in. I do not want to go anywhere in the dark by myself in an area that I do not know. So we basically dragging Herman down the tracks, and you go down past that third light, and then there's maybe
sunflowers. I've never noticed those sunflowers before.
Through the freaking thistles.
Oh, come on. You're supposed to be doing a Papa Wheelie into that.
That they had been going that way for years, and actually wasn't no thistles growing. You could walk through that path
I'm taking
side
Michael
by
with
side
me.
without getting stuck because it was just dirt. But once you cross the thistles, about 75 feet of them, you come out and you're right behind the liquor store. So we did that, and we walked around the front. Now it's about 12:54 is what time it was when I looked at my watch. So that encounter lasted a little bit more than 10 minutes. So I got Herman and set him on his little lip outside right there by the big glass window. And I know Diamond and Little Bit went in the store, and I can't remember that other dude's name off the top of my head. He had a weird nickname, but he went in there too when they all talking at once, telling the clerk, and it's a monster. It's a monster on the railroad tracks. We just seen a monster, but they all talking at once. And this dude is a white dude, and he's looking at from one to the other like, what the hell is y'all talking about? So he let that go on for a couple minutes. He said, listen, I don't know what y'all been smoking. I don't know what y'all been snorting. I don't know what y'all been drinking. Make your selections to bring up here so I can ring you out, because I'm getting ready to close. Come on, man. Just let us use the phone. Let us use the phone. He was like, I ain't got no time for this. I don't know what y'all up to. So he's like, if you ain't gonna buy nothing, get out of the store, basically. So they coming out of the store, and he locked the door, and I actually, because if I had to let Herman go, he would have face planted. It's like he just didn't have no control on the body, and he still got this glassy look on his face. Now, I'm looking more in the store than I am at Herman at this time. So I told Shorty Mac, here, hold Herman. Let me go see if I can talk to this dude. So I went up into the door, and I'm tapping on the window, and he looked up, and I'm like, I'm doing like this. At least call the police, man, because I'm mild to call the police. And he just did that, gone with that, and he opened the register and took it out, and he started counting the money out on thing, and he kind of looked up like that at me. He's like, go on, dude. I'm like, ain't this nothing? So while this is happening, I hear Diamond say, what's this white stuff in Herman's hair? What's this white stuff? And I walk back down there to him, and I'm like, I'm kind of, watch out, what you talking about? Now, I hung out with these dudes for now more than 4 hours. But we've played basketball for a solid, I'm going to say 3 hours and 55 minutes, minus the time it took me to go in the bathroom and change clothes. I done guarded them. They were sitting next to me when we was waiting to get back on the court if we lost, and talking to them under the lights in the park. Herman's hair was all black. Now, Dude is brushing at his head, like, what is this? What's this white stuff in his hair? Now, of course, we walking on white rocks. He has fallen. I'm thinking that's just chalk from the rocks. So I walked up and I brushed his head myself. I even licked my thumb and ran it through his head. And I'm looking because it's not changing color. It was a white patch in his head about that big, right here, right there on his head. And I even took my fingers, because his hair wasn't real long, but I parted his hair and looked, it went all the way down to his scalp.
You think that was from his nerves, though? You know, well, his hair just turned white, like.
I know that has happened. Well, I don't know personally other than that event, but I do know based on my research, some people's hair will turn partially white, a part of it, or their whole head will turn white, but normally it's behind a paranormal experience. So I don't know what that was about, but now that's when we found out Herman has peed and pooped on himself. I can't blame him. I'm walking out, my Chuck Taylors is you know, they wet. And my shorts and my underwear, so I can't blame him. But now, I got to get back to my car. Now, while it didn't take that long coming down them tracks to get to the liquor store, it took us almost 45 minutes to go the long way around to get back to the park because we got to drag Herman. Everybody's talking. Yes, everybody's talking. And every time we heard a sound that didn't sound like something you hear in everyday life, we would stop and kind of get in a partial circle. And that's when I found out dude had a little snub-nosed 38 gun gonna shoot this thing. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, that's like shooting there with a BB gun, dude. Because he had it in his fanny pack, so we stop him and we'll stand there for some minutes and listen, and everybody looking, and I'm like, but mostly I'm quiet because I just want to get to my car. I just need to get to my car. So we finally make it back to the park. We cut through the park and come out the other side that I came in, and Herman stayed right across the street. Once we walked into his yard, 3 of them ran up to the door. One of them is beating on the door. The other one is ringing the freaking doorbell, and the other one then walked down to the window, and he's knocking on the window. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning. It's actually closer to 2 o'clock. His mom come to the door. Why the hell is y'all beating on my door like y'all the blankety blank police? Y'all lost y'all ride. And they all start talking at once. Something wrong with Herman. We seen a monster. This thing was on top of him. You know, they all talking at once, and she's looking at him. Because they had known each other based on what Herman told me since they was like in kindergarten and 1st, 2nd grade. They've been knowing each other that long. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, but she was not happy, and she had on her night clothes, but they all talking at once, and she's looking at him like, the hell? But when somebody says something's wrong with Herman again, she's like, what you mean, what's wrong with Herman? What's wrong with my baby? And then she looks, and because I'm holding Herman by his shoulders, but he's sitting on the steps, well, the top step, but I'm holding because, again, if I let him go, he just goes, and face plant. And she looked at me, and you could see on her face, like, who the hell are you? But she walked over, she's like, Herman, 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 answer me, baby. And then she grabbed him by my shoulder, and I turned him loose, and she grabbed him, put her hand on his face, and turned her like that. Blank look. Wasn't no recognition, nothing like that. And she's like, oh my God, and stood up and let him go, and I grabbed his shirt to keep him from falling back. But she's like, what y'all done did to my son? Don't know. Y'all better tell me what y'all done done to my son. And she turned and headed back in the house. When she said that, I eased Herman back down on that porch, on his back so it wouldn't fall. And I turned and I walked out of her yard and I ran to my car. There was 3 people sitting on the porch, 2 houses up, and I heard the chick say when I was running by, "What is he running from?" Because they was looking down at, of course, all the noise that was being made, they was looking down at her house. And right there in front of God and everybody, I popped that trunk, I stripped out of them wet shoes and them wet underwear and them shorts and put on my other shorts, and I jumped in the car. And when I pulled away from the curb, my tires were spinning. I didn't even stop for the stop sign to get on the airline highway. I almost hit a car and I almost got hit by a car because I just came straight out. And I punched it going back down airline highway. Now, the reason that I left like that is because I had bought a 357 Magnum shortly before I came down to New Orleans. But I bought it from a dude on the street. And I asked him, "What you use this gun for?" And he said, "Protection." All right. I'm like, $100? He said, "Yeah, I'll give you $100. I don't know if that was the truth, but I've had enough dealings with the police in Nebraska to know that if you get caught and you got a firearm or a weapon that they can prove is used in any kind of crime, 9/10 of the law is possession. And based on Herman's condition, the cops show up, they not gonna believe we just seen a werewolf. They gonna think that we gave him some, or we all done partook of some kind of drug, whether it be hallucinogenic or some glue or something, and he done had a bad reaction to it. So, of course, when they get to asking questions, and I got my car keys in my pocket, well, which car is yours? Now you want to come down and search my car. They find that gun in the car, they take it, do a ballistic test on it. It come back to somebody or 3 somebody's done been killed in Omaha or Kansas or Missouri, wherever he got that gun from. They gonna start looking at me. So I left. I did have enough of my faculty still remaining to know that, but I was still scared to death. So I'm gonna tell you one more thing to answer your question you asked me earlier about how do I know or why do I think so strongly that it was that chick. Because when she stood up and she turned her head to look at them thistles, I'm not 100% sure, but I am about 98.5 that she had a gold hoop earring in her ear.
Oh, wow.
Because I seen it flash in the light. But it was just a quick look, and I looked back over there, and then I started looking at her body. So I could see everything that, whatever she was. But I seen her, and I know how gold look when it flashes and catch light. But she whipped her head like that, but it would have been, when she came in the store, she had on them big gold hoop earrings that kind of hang on your shoulder or your neck, on the side of your neck. But in her ear, it wasn't no bigger than a bracelet due to the size of her head. So that is why I think that was her, including the fact that she never showed up that night unless, well, she showed up that night, she just didn't show up how I met her. So I got to my house, I pulled the sofa from the wall and put it in front of the door. I went in the kitchen and unplugged my refrigerator and drug that in the front room and put it in front of the couch and plugged it back in. And then I went in the closet and got my speed loaders down and started loading them. And I went up in the pantry and I got me some Jack Daniels Green Label and I took 3 shots. And then I started to replay. But I'm sitting at the table facing the door and I got my gun pointed toward the door. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get my journal and write this down while it's still fresh in my mind. But of course, the first few pages is a lot of, I seen a effing werewolf. Why? I seen a werewolf. It's like I was trying to reconvince myself of what I see. But I know what I saw. And my dad raised us because he was in the military. He said, God gave you the best recording equipment, audio equipment, and your camera. I'm like, what you talking about, Dad? He said, your brain is your hard drive. Your eyes are your camera. And your mouth is your audio system. God gave you that for a reason. He said, if your eyes see something, that means you've seen it. So don't let your brain send a different signal to where you ask yourself, did I really see that? I must have been hallucinating. Sometimes that might be a defense.
How can everybody be hallucinating at the same time?
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly. So
later on, you got in touch with the son. You know, you tried to get in touch with the son that Herman.
Oh yeah. Fast forward to 2021. 2021. I got a cousin that live in Texas, and he been with this girl for coming up on 15, 16 years now. But a few years ago, we was having a conversation. Actually, they was listening to my encounter the first time I shared it, and they was sitting there listening. And I think she has a photographic memory, but she has another ability too, because she can see dead people. Now, I warned I guess that warning is the right word, but I told my cousin, you better be careful with her, man. He's like, what you talking about, cuz? I'm like, she can see dead people. I mean, he's drive over the road, and sometimes she is rode with him, but I know there's a highway they go down in Florida, and she said to him, why is all these people walking next to the highway? It's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. My cousin's like, what you talking about? She's like, you don't see them? She said, they dress like slaves and they ain't got no shoes, but they all walking in the same way you going. And he look over there, he's like, I don't see nothing over there. So he thought that she was messing with him. Until one day he called me after they had watched my encounter and we was talking. And we had been talking about some exes that we dealt with, and she got a little bit bent out of shape about that. But she said, I bet your grandmama will be happy to hear you disrespecting me like that, something along them lines. He's like, what you talking about? And she said, she looking at you right now. She's standing right there in the kitchen doorway with your mama, looking at you, and they both ain't happy. And I'm like, what did she just say, cuz? Put me on speakerphone. I said, woman, what you talking about? She's like, I don't know why people be thinking I'll be lying. My mama didn't even believe me when I told her I'd be seeing stuff when I was a little girl. I said you seen grandmother. She said, yeah. I said, what she look like? Because grandmother passed many years before Cleophas even met her. The person she described standing in that doorway was grandmother to the T. Especially with, she put her glasses down in her nose like that. And when she look at you, you know it's about to go down. Because that's the only time she did it. But she described her to the T. And I was like, cuz? He was like, man. I was like, all I got to say is cuz, man. So, his girl knows, I don't know if she's gang affiliated or not, but she know a lot of people. And when she heard my encounter, she took it upon herself to go out in her network, and she said she was looking for somebody that had a white spot in their head. And I'm like, but she said his name was Herman. Now, Herman was not Herman's real name. That was his street name. But actually, his friends gave it to that because they said his head was so big, it reminded him of Herman the Monster off the Monster TV show. And when I found that out, I was laughing at Herman and joking with him before we had that encounter when we was at the park. There's like, and Herman, because you know Herman be like, man, F y'all, man, that stuff ain't funny. But like I said, they all knew each other for years. So when what she was able to do, because this was after Katrina, and you know a lot of people in Louisiana got misplaced. or displaced, and they was moving to different places. There's quite a few people here now that got sent here from Katrina out of that Superdome. Now, follow me when I say this, but one of her friends, girlfriend, cousin, was dating a dude that basically was Herman's son. So she contacted her, and she told her to tell his son that there's somebody that want to talk to him. And I talked to him 3 times. 3 times. The last conversation we had didn't go so good. The first conversation we had didn't go that well. Neither did the second one. Because first of all, he don't believe in no boogeyman, no werewolf, no vampires. Ain't nothing that can get you in the dark. If it do, I got a street sweeper that take care of all of that. And of course, he was calling me the N-word quite a bit. I'm crazy. Everybody that was on that railroad track was crazy. Y'all done took my daddy from me. Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. I said, man, I don't know you and you don't know me, but I knew of you before you even came into this world. I just want to tell you what happened with your father. But before I do that, please tell me why you so mad at me. You robbed me of having a regular childhood with my father. I'm like, what do you mean?
Why would he say that?
Because his dad was scared of every freaking thing. He had moments where he was lucid, but for the most part, for the next 7.5 years until he passed away, if you in a car riding across the railroad tracks and he's sitting on the passenger seat, he's immediately coming to the middle of the car, start hollering and screaming, get me off these railroad tracks. If he's in his room, a stick might tap against the side of the house from the wind, or the rain might hit the side of the house too hard. He's freaking out, running around the house talking about that thing is coming to get me, that thing is coming to get me. And his son is 2 and 3 and 4 years old watching his dad do that. It got so bad that his mama stopped letting her be alone with the kid. If his mother or the grandmother or the mother wasn't there, they not gonna leave him in the room alone with Herman because they don't know when he freak out. Wow. They went to the movies one night to see something, and they got there and got the late showing, and he's with his girl, the baby mama, and Herman and his son. And the boy said, I was 5 years old, and we had to park far away because we got to the theater late. Herman wouldn't even walk across the parking lot with him because it was dark over by where the car was parked, because I guess it was some trees growing over. He said, pick me up in front of the movie theater. I'm not going over there. Just, I understood his anger to a certain level, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in these things being on this earth with us. I have had some people attack me, including they created a Reddit page talking about how I fabricated everything, including talking about I talked to Herman's son. Now, I started to go and join that group and let them have it. But God said, I got you. You don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Who was the group that was trying to say you fabricated everything?
I'll send you a screenshot of it. It's on when you Google my name and put werewolf pop up behind it, all the podcasts I've been on, and that actually, when you start scrolling, it popped up, and it's a Reddit group. I don't know what the name of it is, but
well, I want to say this is that Sugar 50, 51, she's saying that her son encountered a son. She's in the audience right now, and then the reason why I even brought up Baba Yashabaya is because he has done the research, and when I talked to Baba, because I was like, okay, if people that don't believe that this is a true encounter and something, that this is a well-known thing in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
This is not something people in Louisiana know about this. So to outside people that are not from Louisiana, um,
You wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know that these things are existed. So
Mm-hmm.
Baba, I wanted to, Baba, you there? Baba, you might have stepped away from his computer.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
here.
here. Okay. Yeah, I wanted you to talk about like the what in Louisiana. Explain how a lot of these type of things are going on in Louisiana.
Well, like I said, I moved in Louisiana in 2007 doing some research. But anyway, as I travel over Louisiana and being a truck driver, I get to go a lot of places. And you sit and you hear these stories, especially when you're sitting around the dock with dock workers and loaders and unloaders. And these, they call them folklores or legends and ideas. So you're sitting there and you hear these things. So this is not the first time I've heard this. And there are some
Mm-hmm.
deep, strange places in Louisiana because this particular area has a unique of history is tied into the paranormal, seeing things going on. Matter of fact, you know what Baton Rouge means?
No, what does Baton Rouge mean?
It means bloody stick.
Mm.
Mm.
And a lot of things happened, and you had a lot of things happen when the French came in and the Spanish came in, and all the things that went on down here. Uh, they had a place down here where they call, uh, um, oh man, and I can't think of the name, but well, they a lot of this went on, and they won't even eat uh, the fruit out of this place because of some of the things that went on down there. I'm trying to think
The fruit
of
from
Oh
the
the
tree,
tree?
wow.
huh?
They won't eat the fruit from the trees.
Yeah, because of what went down. There's a place outside of Natchez. There's a lot of places around here, and there's nothing around here to see strange things around here in Louisiana. They tell you to be careful. Uh, Devil's Bowl.
Devil's Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, look up Devil's Bowl, and
What?
you're gonna find it. They claim it was 20,000 folks perished in Devil's Bowl of down outside of Natchez. Uh,
Mm.
and
Was
they
that because of the war?
well, not because of the war, because there's a lot more behind that than the war. We got a lot of flood, a lot of things going on. You got a lot of violence, you got a lot of things happening. Folks are venting
Mm-hmm.
and they don't find them again. We've got a lot of things going on. And I was listening to uh, Roy talk about there is a place, I don't know Roy was, they're going down Highway 75 going through Florida. It's a place called Alligator Alley. Have you ever heard of it?
That's it. That's it.
I knew it.
That's it.
I knew it. Alligator Alley. You definitely on point. Place
That's where
called
you
You
was
were
at,
at
Alligator
Alligator
Alley.
Alley.
huh?
He was in Alligator Alley by
He was
Alligator
Yeah,
Alley.
that's
driving down Alligator
the
Alley.
place where my cousin was driving that night. That's it right there, because he
Highway
always talking about.
75 is called Alligator Alley. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. And you see strange things. There's a place outside of Marshall, Texas. There's a road that you can actually walk and see bodies hanging from the trees sometimes going down this road.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Mm.
And
Queen Sugar, she's the one who said about her son experienced a Lugaroo. A
Queen Sugar, she
Lugaroo.
probably know. And there's a lot of things that goes on down here that people were afraid to talk about or will talk about.
You can
Like I
hear me, Genesis?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now I can. Go ahead. Welcome to the panel, Queen Sugar.
Your poet Queen Sugar, And like I told you, when you came to visit the plantation house, and we was y'all staying there, I was telling you about
Hey,
the only survivor.
Hello.
Sorry about that, Baba. Go ahead, Queen Sugar, real quick.
Go ahead, Queen Sugar.
Are you gonna say? Are you talking?
I think I got two things open. I don't know what it is.
Is it an echo?
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. Yeah.
Okay, because we can hear you. So if you just tell the story, you're probably gonna close the YouTube.
Yeah. Yep, I can hear you.
So did you want to say something, or you trying to fix that? Well, go ahead, Bobby, while she fixes her computer.
How do I close the YouTube?
Whatever program that you're watching YouTube on, you would just close that out. Are you on your phone or computer?
Okay.
Or you could just pause the YouTube.
I'm on my phone.
You could pause the YouTube and then just listen to it on StreamYard. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
So what were you saying, Queen Sugar? Okay, so moving forward, so Baba, so you're saying that so Alligator Alley, and what else is going on? So where were we at?
When I heard Roy talking, I immediately knew. I said, "That's got to be Alligator Alley." That's Highway 75 coming across that particular stretch of ground. It's called Alligator Alley. You know, and a lot of strange things have happened along there, and you got a lot of what he was. I said, man, that's got to be because these are things that I encountered when I was coming across, going over, carrying a load down to Florida, and you got to cut across 75. It's called 75, and you put a thing called Alligator Alley. You know, and I'm going like, and they say you don't stop. You got
You just keep on going.
Yeah, hey man, drop a gear, put your foot in it, and get on across.
Yeah, you know, but let me tell you something. I was telling a story about we went to this whole event where it was a slave we were sending the slaves like trying to get them to rest in peace on this Hi Queen Sugar, you're back. Can we hear you now? Can you hear us now? All right. So, anyways, there was the slave plantation, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the pictures.
I'm trying to get this mess.
Right. Okay. So, just let me know when you're ready to say something to talk. Okay. So, there was this plantation, and we were there to.
I'm ready.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sugar. Go ahead. You can talk.
You should finish first, Monica, because I want to hear it. You said there was this plantation there. Go ahead, and then Queen Sugar can go after you.
My son was.
There's a delay. Go ahead, Queen Sugar. I'm trying to find the picture. So
go ahead, Genesis.
No, go ahead, Queen Sugar. I'm gonna try to find the picture so I can show it to you. So go ahead and tell your story so I can find these pictures. Sorry, guys, there's a slight delay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my son was with his friends. Y'all can hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
And he was going out in the country, like way out in the country in the back of Abbeville somewhere. And he was shooting, they was going to shoot guns or whatever. And, you know, he was clowning and acting silly with his friends. And he looked the other way and he seen this monster that's on something like it was on his four legs, but then I wish I could get rid of this echo. This is just terrible.
That's okay. Okay, so yeah, so he saw an animal on four legs. You know what you could do is when you get your sound together, just pause the YouTube and then come up with StreamYard, and then you can tell the rest of your story. Hello?
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, because there's like a delay and everything. So, anyways, so this was this plantation that we were at, and what we were doing at the plantation, me, Baba Yashabai, and a few other people were there to, have some kind of a ceremony to let the people there rest in peace. You know, a lot of the because there was like some kind of a war or like some soldiers or something like that that had gotten killed at this plantation, right? Was that the story, Baba?
It was called the Battle of Milliken's Bend in 18 in January of 7, 1863. The African Brigade fought against the Confederate here at a place called Tallulah, Louisiana, better known as Milliken Bend. And this place was a holding ground for the Union soldiers. But prior to that, it was a place that slaves lived on, and the guy that lived there was the sheriff. His job was to go out, and if you owed money, they would collect your slaves and put them in what they call debtor prison, so you get the money to bail them out. Well, 125 of them was buried between that house, where we inside the house, to the railroad track. The guy that bought them at the Bella home was named Porter Johnson. And a lot of time at night, the spirit would come in and drag him through the house. Right next to the house outside, there's 5 graves of the slave owners is buried beside the house. 125 slaves is buried behind the house. Is the remains of a slave that was hung with a chain, and we found his bones just prior to that event, and we put the remains inside the house. I did send that to Monica, the skull and the fibula. Okay, this is what it looked like. This is the last standing plantation house during the Civil War of June 1863. A place called Milliken Bend, Richmond, Louisiana, and that's where we were. And we were there doing a ancestral ceremony. This is the ceremony right here, where we was outside, the drumming, the fire ceremony, and they brought out the Gungun spirit in order to give them time to pray. So we were there doing a Gungun setup to let them rest, because a lot of things been going on phenomenal around there. That place was built by the slaves. The bricks you saw was made by slaves, and the whole thing was built by them. So she was there for that event, and it's still standing to this day.
So what happened is that we're out there. This is the
look at that light. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That's so. This is strange. Okay, this is not how light behaves. Just first of all, so that's one thing. If you look at this picture, that is not how light behaves. First off, now when we were in this circle, right, walking back and forth from the house, you would hear, boo, yeah, and I'm like, and I'm hearing all of that. So I'm thinking that there's people outside of this thing walking down the street making fun of us. There was nobody there. Nobody was there but us, you know. But I'm hearing, yeah, you know, I'm hearing it's a party going on somewhere down the street.
Nope.
There was nobody there.
That's the picture he's showing.
That's just some of it. More to it. Yeah,
this was just us. We were just getting ready to do the celebration, so we were all sitting in chairs waiting to like start the actual the ceremony, and the ceremony was for it was meant to
652 people Africans died there at this battle, and that's when the black was first given honor and recognized as being warriors that would fight. And the guy in the white, go back, the guy in the white, go back. The white guy sitting there, he was there getting his doctorate dissertation information for the writer's fame on African spirituality. That's why he was there. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and see these lights. See how this light is doing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was some kind of a weird spiritual energy going on there, but I was the only one that heard all these like people partying and hanging out and making fun and like they were getting closer and closer. And I'm like, y'all don't hear that? Like, why are they making fun of us? And people were like, I don't, like, they were looking at me like, smiling. Like, the people that were there, I'm like, why are the people, like, coming around walking, making fun of us? And nobody else heard it. So people probably thought I was crazy because nobody heard it. I was the only one that heard this going on.
Wow.
And, it was weird. So, yeah, but this is the everybody just waiting for the goon,
I think I got it back, Genesis.
See, see how quiet it is? But imagine in the background, hey, whoo, but it sounded like it was an echo, like they were like coming down the street. It was the craziest thing ever. So this is me sitting amongst them, filming stuff, but in my ears I hear like there's spirits or something like that. Well, I found out later that there was something else going on because I thought it was real people all the way. It took me until I asked some people later on, like, why were those people laughing and stuff? They're like, wasn't no people laughing. And I said, oh my God. Those were spirits that was doing that then. Cause,
Genesis, you can hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. So my son was with a couple of his little white friends one night. And they went all the way to Forked Island. Forked Island is like, you're going to like almost in the Gulf. Well, really, Fouchon is like in the Gulf. That's where he works offshore. But Forked Island is like way in the boondocks, the booms. And they were shooting guns. Just doing regular kid stuff, acting stupid, shooting guns. And he seen this thing, he turned his head and he seen this thing on all fours. And he said it didn't look like a dog. And when he turned his head again, he seen it rise up. And he said the thing looked like it was like 5 or 6 foot tall. And it looked, he said it was a skinwalker, but I said no. I said what you seen was a boogaloo. That's the thing we call them down here in, South Louisiana. And he said he didn't stay there to look at it. He ran. He left with his friends. And he said, Mama, I'm serious. That was not a dog I seen because the thing stood up on his feet, and I didn't ask him. I just pushed it off the side. I didn't ask him nothing no more. I said, that's what you get for going out in the country and shooting guns like you're stupid, But that's what he seen. And I heard we heard a lot of tales about that stuff down here, like in South Louisiana and going towards New Orleans and stuff, But what I'm saying, what he probably seen, what the man probably seen was a rugaloo, not really a werewolf.
So what is the difference between a real rugaloo and a werewolf?
A rugaloo is close to a skinwalker.
What's the skinwalker?
Like a skinwalker is like it's like a chameleon. It could disguise itself.
So it could do anything. It could turn into different forms.
Yeah, it could disguise itself. So what he sound like he's seeing is a rugaloo, but maybe he's saying it's a werewolf. Maybe it's
I wonder what the thing is about the French and these werewolves. Like, didn't they have? Why is it so connected to Louisiana and Haiti? These kind of werewolf creatures. Why is that such a connection?
We have a lot of like woods, like back like property. That's just not. They're not doing nothing with it, and it's like somewhere where a lot of things you could hide a lot of things. I mean,
No, I'm talking about in general, because even in Haiti they have these skinwalker rugaloos. Baba, do you know why is it that?
I don't know why. I know that we got a lot of history of people transplanting in and out here and different things coming in here from different parts of the country, other parts of the globe, and they're bringing things in. I'm pretty sure she's familiar with the New Orleans area, but you got places like Yucca Plantation over outside of Freeport, a place called Natchitoches. And what you don't realize, back in the day, Louisiana was ran by a bunch of black men before they got ran out of office, you know. And I'm pretty sure you're aware of Queen Sugar.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with a guy by the name of William Natchez Johnson?
Who?
William Natchez Johnson. He lived there in Natchez. He owned both black and white slaves. He was the richest black man in Mississippi.
No.
He's got a 2-story house on Canal Street there in Natchez. Well, you got all kind of stories about dungeons and things like this going on back then.
I'm more closer to New Orleans.
Well, okay, you close to New Orleans, so you know what Metairie and all that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Gonzales. Okay, Gonzales. What's the other place? What's it at? Between outside of Gonzales.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Chalmette.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that go on, and I say, and a lot of people, it ain't talked about a lot because hey, if you ain't from here, you wouldn't understand no way.
And you see, they just burned the plantation down, right?
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
Not away plantation.
Not away. You want to look, you know. So, but we were saying earlier, there are a lot of things that people encounter in this area, especially now I'm in Tallulah. Tallulah is up at the top near Vicksburg, up in that area, right?
Yeah, that's where my little nephew was in the the Tallulah Boys Home. He was in that.
Oh yeah, Christian Acres.
Yep.
See, and they bring a lot of people from New Orleans up this way, well, up into the DC to the detention camp in Christian Acres and like that. It's known for prison time. What I was trying to say is, Tallulah is known for the people that have the occult spirit or spirituals, like James Goldsberry, Dr. Tut, Mama Tank. These were spiritual workers that made things happen. And that's another, they call it voodoo or doom. But these are things that we were able to use them back in the day to protect themselves from the slave master.
Yeah. Right.
So there's a place down south called Nigger Town. You remember? Was you familiar with it?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And people like, no, that's not a nigger. It was a whole place called Nigger Town.
So, do you think a lot of this stuff happens because of like the kind of Native American spirituality that's getting going on, or do you think it's coming from France?
There's so many plantations out here,
Yeah.
And we had so many slaves.
Right, but I think that werewolf thing comes from Native American stuff, like being able to switch.
Oh, Michael's dead.
That's generally Skinwalker from the Navajos.
This is for Michael.
Yeah.
Some Pueblo Indians. But
well, I think it's a Luglaroo. Is a Skinwalker. It's the same thing. Luglaroo.
It's like a Skinwalker. It's familiar to a Skinwalker.
So I'm just trying to figure out how. So in Haiti, is it because they have the Luglaroos in Haiti too? Skinwalker.
Oh, in Haiti? Oh, really?
Yeah, and they have them in Louisiana. So I'm trying to figure. But I know some of the slaves were brought from Haiti to Louisiana.
Right.
And maybe some of those were like some kind of creatures, like mixed.
Maybe that's how they bought.
Or is it like witchcraft? Like, is it because these things have some kind of a witchcraft attached to them that's converting them over?
That's how I was saying a while ago. That's because Marie Laveau came from Haiti. She came during the Haitian Revolution and moved to New Orleans. You know, and she became one of the powerhouses in New Orleans. Everybody know you, when Marie Laveau spoke, that was a rap. That was a rap.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah. So and they say how she really.
The dog
All I
man.
know is my boss said it was the loop guru.
The Lugaroo. Yeah, they call it the Lugaroo. The Lugaroo is in Haiti, and the Rougarou is in Louisiana. So I'm not sure if there's different ones with the L in Haiti and the one with the R in Louisiana. They look different, different colors or something like that. So, you know what I'm saying? One stands up with one foot, one stands up with.
Yep.
You know, but they have a different. Bet you talking? You're on mute.
Who?
Are you talking?
Yeah, her microphone is
I'm not.
Your microphone, your headset might not be working. Okay.
Yeah, your cousin.
Yeah, I saw her mouth talking. I said, wait, hold on, she's trying to say something. But yeah,
she was
like
gesturing.
yeah. Because I've also heard of vampires in Louisiana as well. So I've heard a lot of stories about the vampires. And I think it's almost like a whole community of vampires out there, you know. So it would not be far fetched that there is also a community of werewolves. And I think it's interesting how in your story, she didn't give you her phone number. She didn't, because she probably knew that she was going to come out and do that. I still can't hear you. You're probably going to not do the Bluetooth, just talk straight with the phone. But yeah, I was saying, you know.
What y'all think about that plantation that burnt? They don't know where the fire started.
That could have been anything.
I mean, then they got pictures coming out where they seen in the fire. They seen the slaves in the fire, like the ghost of of slaves. I don't know if that's true. You know, people could make anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whether it's true or not,
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think that those Rougarou are from other dimensions?
Maybe.
Well, everything comes up. What is the the earth is the marketplace, and no room, and no room is our home. Everything that moves in this galaxy comes here. This is like a training facility.
Yeah.
And there are other dimensions that come here. There are other star planets that there are people come here that told us that, and that's a fact. You know,
Somebody has a really bad like a feedback.
background noise.